Good morning. I'm Lauren, one of Festival's dietitians, and joining me today is Bill Story. He is our wine and spirits supervisor and expert who is here today to talk about a lot of the different fall-flavored wine and spirits options that we have at Festival. And even better, we are pairing them with a lot of the different options that we have in our meat department, our seafood, bakery, as you can see here, as well as deli. So we're going to jump right in and start talking about some of these wonderful options that we have for fall. So starting here on the very end with the brats, everybody loves brats this time of year, especially with football season.
Yeah.
So we have a pumpkin brat this year, actually, which is very unique. It's got a nice blend of spices that tastes like a pumpkin spiced brat. Have you had it?
Yes, it's delicious. It's very good.
And we pair it even better with a nutmeg flavored bun from our bakery department, which is wonderful. And of course, we need to pair brats with beer, right?
Of course. And generally, Oktoberfest obviously is very popular this time of year. And Oktoberfest beer goes very well with bread and sausage, which is a brat.
Perfect pairing.
So it's a perfect pairing. We're showing our Central Waters Oktoberfest today, which is an amazing Oktoberfest beer from Amherst. Very crisp, very clean drinking Oktoberfest that pairs very well with the brat.
I haven't had that one yet, but I'm definitely putting that on my list then because that would be wonderful with the brat.
It's very good.
And then we have another type of brat that is new this year as well. It's the Hinterland Packerland Pilsner beer brat. So it's got that great beer flavor right in the brat, and then we're pairing with our Oktoberfest bun from our bakery department. And naturally, we have to pair it with the matching beer.
Yeah,
right?
What better way to pair a Packerland Pilsner brat than with the Hinterland Packerland Pilsner beer itself? It's a typical German-style Pilsner. Very light, but if you're kicking off game day, might as well do it with a brat and a beer, and it's perfect. The Packerland Pilsner is very good.
So you mentioned that the Packerland Pilsner is somewhat mild. I've heard a lot about the IBU rating in beers. I like beer a lot, so one of the best ways to rate beer is through the IBU rating. Can you explain a little bit about what that is and what people need to be looking for?
Yeah, no problem. International bitterness units, that means. So IBU stands for International Bitterness Units. So it's basically a measurement of how bitter a beer is. Bitterness is a key component in beers. It balances the sweet malt that goes into beer. So generally you'll have your really high Indian Pale Ales that you'll see ratings of that are very high on the IBU scale. And then lower is your Miller Lights and Coors Lights. This Packerland Pilsner is actually toward the lower end. And the bitterness comes from hops in a beer. Similar to a wine, there's different varietals of hops as well. They can boil hops, they can age hops, and that all comes into play with how bitter a beer ends up being.
Excellent. So yes, IPA is a little bit higher, but the Packerland Pilsner is perfect for people who aren't necessarily really into beer, but maybe want to have a beer, like you said, on game day. It's a nice, light, and easy to drink beer.
Yep, very much so.
Excellent. So then we also have a seafood option. This is a coffee rub Verlasso salmon found in our seafood department. And Verlasso salmon is our sustainable seafood, and it has an absolutely awesome flavor. We tasted some right before this, and it was delicious.
It's very good.
So what do we have to pair it with then?
Generally with the salmon, you want to pair something, a lighter red type wine. You don't want a big, heavy Cabernet or anything like that. You want something that's lighter and fruit forward when you're pairing with a salmon. So obviously for this time of year, we picked this awesome Witch's Brew from Door County. It's very, like I said, fruit forward. It's a blend of Syrah, strawberry, and plum. So it with all those fruit flavors going on, it pairs extremely well with the salmon.
And the bottle is awesome. I love both of these bottles. They can be used as a decoration even after.
Yeah, they look really, really nice on display and for the season. So
love it. And then we have another wine too.
Yeah, we have another wine here. This is called Whole Glade Harvest. It pairs, as you can see, we have the cheeses up there. It pairs very well with these big Gorgonzola and blue cheese, which are really strong flavored cheeses. Late harvest means that it was picked late in the season, generally in autumn. Right now is when they're picking these late harvest grapes. And because it's picked so late, it generally gives a little bit sweeter flavor. So any of these late harvest wines you see will be sweeter. And that sweet of the wine pairs very well with the salt and strong flavor of the cheeses.
That sounds delicious. It sounds like, again, another easy to drink wine, especially for somebody who's not a wine drinker.
It's very approachable. If somebody isn't a wine drinker, it's a good starting wine. And like I said, the two of those together, it's great how the saltiness of that blue cheese or Gorgonzola pairs with the sweet of the late harvest wine.
Delicious. And speaking of delicious, look at all this awesome stuff we have over here. So this is
It's
kind of our after dinner desserts. So we have lots of different fun caramel apples you can find in our bakery department. We have pumpkin pie, of course, along with some pumpkin sweetbreads and muffins. And then from our deli department, we have our famous pumpkin fluff, which who doesn't love fluff, especially kids?
Right.
And then a pumpkin bread pudding from our deli department, which I knew you were eyeing up as well.
Yeah, well, this is why I start to wear big, heavy sweatshirts these months.
I think that's with everybody. So,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
then we need to pair all this sweet stuff with some sort of wine and spirits. So what do we have?
Yeah, we picked 3 different things out here. It's the hollow wine, which you can see the label looks pretty similar to the Witch's Brew. But this is just a good after-dinner type drink. A lot of people might not know this, but if you heat this hollow wine up, similar to how you would heat up a cider in the microwave, it really brings those sweet apple, cinnamon, and nutmeg flavors out. So put it in a coffee mug and heat it up in the microwave and have it with any one of these, and it's great.
Delicious. And then we have a beer as well.
Yep, this is the pumpkin beer from Southern Tier. And this, as you know, pumpkin beers are very popular this time of year, and this beer really exemplifies what a pumpkin beer should taste like. It's got all the full flavors of allspice and nutmeg, vanilla. You can even catch a little bit of pie crust in there with it.
Oh,
So-
I've had it. It's
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, it's very good. So as you're having your apple pie or your bread pudding, that goes really, really well with it.
Perfect. And then last but not least.
Last but not
Liquor.
least is the Fulton's Harvest, which is a pumpkin pie liqueur. It tastes just like pumpkin pie. It's pretty awesome stuff. You can have it on ice, or you can put it in your coffee with all your favorite bakery items.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Bill, for joining us today. And you can find all these items in our various departments at your local Festival Foods.
Thank you. Back to you.